Hey there guys, we're going to be going to ARach-2 for another rank 1 clear. This time we're not going to use any of the Nier units at all. So we're going to turn on all modifiers and we're going to be going with this party. We're not going to use Sylvie, Kaito, or any of the Nier units. We're going to bring back Lilith, but she is not tanking this time. She is going to be purely a damage dealer. Runda will do the proper tanking. Return Fina is going to be our light support for imbuing the party field, etc. Wilk is going to be our primary dispel unit, as well as helping deal some damage. We're going to use Olive as a big damage dealer, also a big break, and she's going to be the primary breaker. We're going to be using Tsukiko for damage as well, and the field support. So let's get in here and do a clear. Now, I will say, I've seen a lot of reports about a bug where the boss will heal for some people after the threshold. I'm not getting that bug. We'll talk about that more at the threshold, but for now, let's get to that point. Okay, so as the first action on turn 1, before you do anything else, we're going to summon the field on Fina, because we need to get more Esper Crystals this turn, but get that field summoned immediately. Then we're going to use Runda to LB. We're going to use Lilith to triple here. We're going to do Bar Darkja, and we're going to do double Rapture. And we're going to use Wilk, who is using a light element weapon, to hit the boss 3 times. Now we need to get 2 Esper Crystals from all this. And you should almost always get 2. I think I only got 1. Oh my god. So we're going to Omamori. We can't Prayer of Protection. That is disappointing. Okay, so we can't Prayer of Protection. We're just going to instead Purification and do Light Mandala. That was really unlucky on crystal drops. And then Olive is going to do both her breaks, both her killers, and Giant Melon. It's not that big a deal. So we don't have protection this turn. So we might take some damage here. A lot of damage, actually. It wasn't that bad. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, here's some gravity attacks. Lilith is our passive provoker, and make sure she's higher in the party than Runda. That way she takes over the provoking duties, and Runda is going to be covering, though. Unfortunately, we're taking a bunch of damage, so we don't have a stat buff right now, but okay, it's fine. Anyway, so this turn, Fina is going to triple. We're going to imbue the party. We're going to use the barrier, and we're going to use Kurega. Runda will do cover and double bolting. Lilith on this turn is going to do Veil of Night. That is going to imbue the boss with darkness, because this turn the boss is doing a bunch of thunder damage with the big imperil. We're not using Sylvie. We don't have enough thunder resist, so we're going to imbue the boss to split the element, and then double Rapture to heal. Wilk can just hit the boss a few times again. Tsukiko will now do Prayer of Protection, Prayer of Purification, and then Consecration Light. This is different than my turn chart, because I expected to do Prayer of Protection on turn 1, but just adapt if you have to. And then Olive can repeat. So this turn, the boss is going to imbue herself with Thunder Element, and then imperil our tank. I'll show you in a moment. Let her do her thing. Okay, there you go. You can see that Runda has been huge Thunder Imperiled, but because the boss is imbued with darkness and we did a dark resist buff, he's still going to take no damage this turn. If you're using Sylvie with the 200 lightning resist buff, this turn is whatever. Without Sylvie, it's a lot more dangerous, but we're fine here. Okay. Now this turn, Fina is going to use Courageous Roar for the break immunity, because we don't have anyone else to buff it. We're going to use the SLB on Runda. We're going to use the SLB on Olive. That is going to unlock her Magnus. Lilith can just triple Rapture to heal the party and hit the boss. We'll hit the boss again with Wilk, and we're going to shift this turn with Tsukiko and do triple Solar Flare to unlock her Magnus. Now, because we're not using Kaito, we're going to have to do our burst on turn 6 when the boss's buffs have worn off naturally. Alright, so this turn is a relatively low damage turn, not a big deal. The boss is still imbued with lightning as well. But we cured the imperils on Arunda, I think. No, we didn't, actually. It's just a low damage turn. Anyway, turn 4, on the other hand, is not a low damage turn. Turn 4 hers. It's non-elemental. We're going to guard our Arunda. We're going to, now this turn, we're going to shift Wilk, and we're going to Quake Blade for the Axe Imperil and Killer buff. Make sure you're using the Axe, because the Axe gives a human killer buff. We're going to go to the base form with Tsukiko, and we're going to Magic Boost to get more damage. Olive is going to now just do her stuff to fill the morale gauge. The reason we're doing double break, double killer, and giant is all of those fill the morale gauge. We're going to do the SLB of Return Fina, and Lilith can just triple Rapture again. Okay. Some more attacks on the party. Now this turn, the boss is doing a bunch of non-elemental damage. It's very painful. Runda's guarding. He should be fine here. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Sorta, kinda. Okay, so turn 5 is also going to be set up again. We're going to be doing our proper burst on turn 6. Alright, so Runda will just do cover and double bolting just to refresh his cover. Lilith, on this turn, is going to do Kiss of Betrayal for the Mason Peril and double Kiss of Rapture to heal the party. We're going to use Bar Thundara from a materia on Fina the Return. It's green magic. You can craft it if you don't have it. It's a craftable item. We're going to go ahead and Magic Boost with Tsukiko. This turn, Olive will do these 4 skills, and then we're going to do her Magnus to get ready. And Wilk, back to the base form, we'll just use some physical hits, because those fill his LB gauge, which we need for next turn. Okay. Turn 5, the boss imbues herself with Holy Element. We've got a Holy Resist buff from Return Fina, so we're fine. We didn't quite fill the morale gauge. We're only at 199%. It should be fine. This team's pretty good damage, even though we're not using Nier. We should overcap by a lot. Okay, now, as the first action on the burst turn, what we're going to do is Return Fina is going to, in this order, we're going to do Delightful Glow for the Human Killer, Brilliant Veil for the Imperil and the Imbue and the Light Resist, and White Lotus Dew as like an emergency thing. Now we're going to burst. So Lilith is going to SLB, so is Olive. We're going to SLB Runda as well. That's just for the mitigation. Tsukiko is going to shift and use her boosted Magnus, Shining Karmic. And Wilk is going to be the Dispeller during this damage. Wilk is going to use Dragon's Reincarnation. This is a perfect Dispel and a 3000 modifier attack. It's a triple bolting strike. So we're going to start the chain with Wilk and Dragon Reincarnation. So Wilk and Tsukiko are going to chain together as the first actions, and then Olive and Lilith are going to... We're going to click Lilith, then Olive for the bigger 90 break, then Tsukiko and Wilk, Olive, Tsukiko, Lilith is the clicking order you want to do, and those will chain together, and then Runda's whatever. Anyway, so that dispels the barrier and does the burst. Now, this should be the damage cap. Some people are getting the boss to heal right here. I don't know why. For some people, it heals 3.1 billion. For me, it never heals. I can't explain it. It's obviously a bug, because for some people it heals, other people it doesn't. I don't know what is going on with that. I have no answer. It doesn't heal for me. Other people are saying it does heal. I mean, they're not live. I've seen videos. I know it's healing for other people. I don't know why. Yeah, send a bug report on the customer service if it's healing for you. I don't know. But for me, it doesn't heal on the threshold. It heals for 0. Can't explain it. Anyway, assuming it didn't heal for you, this is how we proceed. Okay, so turn 7 is a very, very painful turn. We're going to guard our Runda to survive it. Fina is going to Courageous Roar for the break immunity. We're going to use Tsukiko, go back to the base form. We're going to Omamori, Consecration Light, and Protection. Olive is going to break with the Killers and Giant Melon. This is just to fill the morale gauge for the score. Wilk back to the base form, where we're going to just hit the boss 3 times to fill his LB gauge. And then Lilith is going to Betrayal and double Rapture. Okay. Now we're gonna take a lot of damage over time here. Painful, especially Olive with her bad spirit, but that's fine. All right. This turn, very, very painful. Because we pushed on turn 6 instead of turn 5, the boss has a much bigger permanent attack and magic buff. This is why I like pushing on turn 5 better, which you kind of require Kaito to do that. And we're not using Kaito. Anyway, you know, we got it done. Okay, so turn 6. Turn 8. We're going to use Fina's SLB for the buffs. We're going to burst again. So we're going to shift our Wilk. And we're going to, again, start the chain with Dragon's Reincarnation. We're going to shift our Tsukiko. And we're going to do triple Solar Flare. Alright. Yes. And then Olive is going to, in this order, we're going to double Killer. We're going to Giant, Dual Summer, and then Magnus. Okay. So, and we're gonna leave Runda and Lilith alone. Don't fool with them. So we're going to start Olive, wait just a moment, and then do our chainers. So Olive, wait just a moment, do our chainers. Hopefully I did this properly. Looks like I did. About 15%, that's fine. The big burst comes next turn. Okay, now Lilith, we need to refill Wilk to dispel again next turn. So Lilith is gonna just triple Bar Darkja. Now this does take 1,500 MP. If she doesn't have that much MP, you need to either Doorpot her or give her mana reduction or give her MP gear, because you need to fill the LB gauge of Wilk. And then Runda on this turn can do cover and then just double laser, you know, whatever. Okay. Turn 8 is not too painful, other than the damage over time. Some attacks, gravity, disease, etc., all the annoyances. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and Panacea again with Fina to get rid of the disease before we do anything else. Alright, let's go ahead and Panacea. A lot of support stuff on Fina. And we're going to SLB Runda. By SLBing Runda, that'll refill Wilk the rest of the way. Now Wilk can Dragon's Reincarnation again. Olive can SLB, Lilith can SLB, and we can Magnus on Tsukiko. And this should hopefully kill the boss. We're going to go ahead and resist Lightning. We're going to heal. We don't really need stat buff. We have that from Fina the Return. Okay. And we're going to chain it up the same as we did last time. And this should kill the boss. If it doesn't, we all have AoE re-raise from the Veil we used on turn 5. It's still here. So if we kill the boss, great. If we don't kill the boss, we'll re-raise. We got her. There it is. That should be a perfect rank 1 score without the Nier units, without Kaito, without Sylvie. There it is. Alright. Definitely not cheap. That kind of requires EX3, Lilith, and Olive, and an EX2 or better return Fina. So it's certainly not a budget run, but it is a no Nier run. So there's the perfect score. There's the damage breakdown. So Lilith is, you know, like I said, she's a good damage dealer. She just can't tank for shit, but she's a good damage dealer. Olive and Tsukiko are also very good damage dealers here. And then Wilk is... you know, an okay damage dealer, but more importantly, he does have a perfect dispel on his damage, but his damage is pretty trash. As you can see, he did literally half the damage of everyone else, because Wilk is a disappointing premium. Anyway, look at that. I have finished farming without even having to actually farm. Okay, let me show you the gear. And as far as the healing, like, I have no answer. If it heals for you, send a customer support ticket and tell them it's healing for you, and maybe they'll hotfix it. I don't know about the healing. Yeah, it's not healing for me. I don't know. Anyway, here is the party that we use. So Lilith is passive provoke, first in the party order, and then geared for damage. 9,400 defense, LB damage versus machines and humans. Maxed LB, maxed human, and 275 machine. And there is the setup that we're using. And there you go. Runda is using 300 lightning resist and 300 light resist. That allows us to, and 100 or better dark resist. So a lot of resistance. Other than that, high defense, high HP. We're not using any auto healing, so don't gotta worry about that. Here's the setup we're using, and he is not passive provoking, so don't give him like the diadem and all that, and don't give him his own shield plus the arm. But this is fine. Just make sure Lilith is the provoker over him. We don't want Runda taking any of the thick stuff. So here's the setup. Here's the resistance gear we're using, and then power cut card. You could also use like a resistance card if you need to, but power cut is really good. Athena the Return is dual wielding a morale card, always watching over me. Make sure you're dual wielding. Riku's Pouch to cure Panacea. Pause of Prosperity to give us break immunity. And other than that, Bar Thundara. Again, this is craftable. Bar Thundara to give us Thunder Resist for turn 7. And then she's on Baymit. You gotta be on Baymit for her field. And yep, there's her setup. She needs to be EX2 or better to have the rotations line up. EX3 is fine, but at least EX2. Wilk in the base form is using his own card and dual wielding, again, because that fills morale gauge. Someone needs to be wearing the Obsidian Bracer, because this will make the ambush damage over time not deal crazy damage. So someone absolutely needs preemptive breaks. If you're using Kaito, he does it automatically. If you're not using Kaito, give someone the Obsidian Bracer. Other than that, Decay Amulet, Seraph, that's all not important, truth be told, because you don't even... This is not important. This is not important, this is not important, because we're using Fina to give us immunity and cure the imperils. I was doing that because I wasn't using Fina earlier, and I changed the strategy. Anyway, there you go. There's the build. And he does need a holy weapon. So a holy weapon, very important, because he does do the seal on turn 1. And there we go. We never use Calamity Border, so ignore that as well. Shift form is go with the Axe build in the shift form, because the Axe does give him Human Killer and a Human Killer buff. Other than that, just chain damage versus whatever. Machines and human. Maxed on both, and yep, his damage is garbage. But he does have the perfect dispel on his chain. And that's a really big deal for that barrier. Beach Blaster Olive is probably the highest damage dealer here. So here we go. So, high damage versus machines and humans. 10,600 magic, maxed LB, maxed human, maxed machine. And she has a 200% self machine killer buff. And yep, she's really good here. Really good here. She does need some decent spirit to survive. So make sure that you have, door-potted spirit, etc. Tsukiko in the base form, morale fill stuff, magic boost. Other than that, kind of whatever. Shift form is just, chain damage and, pretty classic build. And there it is. There's the No Nier rank 1 perfect score. Turn chart will be in the comments. If the boss is healing for you on the threshold, I don't know. Anyhow, see you in a bit.